That's one coat of mascara. Girl, she's good. Hi you guys, welcome back to the Clean Beauty Code. I'm so excited for this video because we're talking current makeup bag and we're doing a full face obviously because mama looks tired, like need concealer. Had the worst night's sleep last night. Wait, let me know down below. I was talking to my friends about this. Do you feel like your sleep has gotten worse in the last month? Like I feel like all of us have been sleeping like trash. And I was sick for a while with vertigo, but now that I'm not sick, I still feel like sleep is questionable at best. So let me know down below if you're also struggling. I wonder if the season change kind of is like a part of it or something. Let me know down below because I'd love to know. But yeah, we're doing a full face of my current makeup bag, and I'm gonna walk you through the products I have, and in there even ones I might not use on my face right now because I only have so much space on my face, and I have a lot of blushes that or maybe not a lot, but I have a good amount of blushes that I always have in my bag. And yeah, I just want to jump into the video and get started. So if you're excited for this video and more videos like this, then please like and subscribe. And without further ado, let's do a full face of my current makeup bag. Brought you in closer, let's get into it. So first things first, my makeup bag. So my current everyday makeup bag is this one. This is one I actually got for free from Rose Inc. when I placed an order. And it's one that like scrunches, which I really like. I don't know, this is a nice makeup bag, and it doesn't get stains on the outside, which I really enjoy, even though it's a really light color, and it's easy to like clean on the outside, which I really enjoy. I feel like I have other makeup bags that are white or lighter colors, let's say, and they just look messy. This one I've had for a very long time, and I haven't had an issue with it. And by a very long time, I mean probably like 8 months or something like that, but I really do enjoy it. And again, I got this one for free, but I do feel like they sell it, but this is a good one. Okay, next, first thing, like for every day, I always put on a lip balm before I do anything. So I have two that are currently my grab and goes. So I have this one from Ole Hendrickson, and this one is great. I actually have a backup of this because it is so good. I mean, you can see it's like we're bare bones here. And then I also have this one from Fawn Beauty, and this is just their recovery lip oil. I also have like a one that's like a more pinky, like a bright pink color, and these are great. So I'm gonna do the Ole Hendrickson one, and this is great. And it keeps my lips, oh my gosh, we're bare bones here. Oh, okay, I think we're done with this, so never mind. We're gonna go with the Fawn Beauty one. I love these lip oils. They're very hydrating, and they really smooth your lips out, which is great. So this is what we're gonna prep our lips with before we like go and do lips later. So next, I always do brows, even if I use like a tinted brow product. It's just my preference, but I know a lot of people like to do their brows kind of closer to the end. I totally get it. It's just, for me, it makes it, when brows aren't done, and I'm like towards the end of the makeup, I tend to hate my makeup more. So I like to do my brows first, but also I like to use clear brow products for the most part, and I don't like to get them too dirty with like other stuff on my face. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna take a little bit of brow gel. This is the Rose Inc. Clear Brow Gel, and I really enjoy this. I actually have gotten a lot of questions about which products I like to use for my brows. Sometimes I do soap brows, sometimes I do just a clear brow gel. I don't really have like a specific preference between soap brows and this brow gel, but this is just nice to have in a makeup bag because I don't have to like wet it and everything's good. But I like doing all the things like soap brows, brow gels. It just depends on how much time I have. All right, brows are gelled. Now we're gonna move on to brow pencil. Now my go-to everyday ride or die brow pencil that I have backups of. Now this I've had for, at this point, like 14 months or something. I'm at the very, very end of this one. I thought I actually was gonna get through the end bit a lot faster than I did, but this brow pencil lasts forever. I have a backup of this because this will be gone relatively soon, but it's so freaking good. I get a lot of questions about brow pencils also recently. I don't know if people are in a brow like mood, but this is truly, when I compare it to any other brow pencil, this is just above and like above all. This is $38, very expensive, but with how long it lasts, it's actually like price wise cheaper than most other brow pencils that I own or have tried. We're just gonna go and fill in. I don't like to go too crazy. The shade I have in this is the shade Bark. And I don't like to go too crazy. I like to lightly fill in and then look, like take a step back and then get closer to the mirror again, because sometimes it can get a little wild if you overdo it and you don't want to end up looking, well, actually, I don't want to end up looking, and I say this all the time, like Sandy Cohen in the OC. He's a great guy, I'm sure, but the brows just are not it for me. On my face, on other people, it looks great. Next, we go on with a skin tint. If I am going on with something right now, it's been a skin tint. I'm not really an everyday foundation girl, but there are certain foundations I would wear for every day, but right now my skin is in a place where it's needing a little bit more hydration, especially my cheeks have just been like a strug city. So we're going on with the Westman Atelier complexion drops, and I wear the shade X in this, which I believe is the number 10, but you know, I'm not brushed up on my Roman numerals that well, so I just call it X. And I really like this shade, and this product is just great. And I do like 2.5 drops. I don't really like to go too crazy with complexion products. I like to if I want more, I can build up, but I don't like to go on too intensely. And I'm just going to blend it in with my fingers. But I've also used a brush with this and a sponge and enjoyed it. Okay, so then next I'm gonna go on with a color corrector. Actually, this is a color corrector I always have in my bag, and this is the Exa Beauty color corrector. I have this in the shade Peach, but I also have Deep Peach, I believe is the name, and that's more of something I use in summer when I'm a lot more tan, even though this summer I didn't get tan at all. But we're gonna do a little bit of this under my eyes, just a touch. This is a really nice color corrector, and it literally doesn't budge at all, which is amazing, and it really sets up. I enjoy this product a lot. And if it's back in stock and you've been eyeing it, I highly recommend trying it out, because when it comes to color correctors, this truly is one of the best ones out there in my opinion. So then next I'm going to go on with this concealer, which you guys know I love. This is from the brand Kulfi. It's empty. Like, look how empty that is. I barely have any left. I have a backup of this as well, and I wear the shade Mango Drop in this. And for every day, I don't go crazy with the concealer. I kind of just apply here and here. And then sometimes I'll use a brush to blend it out. Sometimes I'll just use my fingers. Today we're going to use a brush just because I'm feeling like it, and I'm going to take this brush here. This is just a random brush I have. It's not even anything but just a fluffy brush. Sometimes even like I'll take a crease brush and do that. And I also have like designated concealer brushes, but this is great. And I'm just going to go and blend it out and just kind of buff it around. Okay, we are concealed. I might add a touch more concealer later on. I feel like my darkness is girl, if I don't get it together, if I feel like my darkness is peeking through, but for right now, I'm happy. So the next, I like to use something like this, not always, but this is the Nude Sticks Blot and Blur Matte Stick. This is great because I have combo skin, and depending on like what time of year it is, this is a great thing to have. This is also great to have if you have an event somewhere and you know you're gonna be wearing, let's say you're going to your friend's wedding or even your own wedding, or you have a long day ahead of you where you're gonna be in your makeup for a very long time. This is really great. And I'm gonna just use a little bit of it so I can show you what it is. But this is another product that I do have a backup of because I don't want to run out of it, and I feel like brands always discontinue the things that I love. Do you feel like that's how it is? So I apply it and then just kind of buff it in. So like right here, I'll do my chin first and just kind of dab it in. And it kind of controls the oil production. Obviously got to get the stash. No one likes a sweaty upper lip. For here, I'm actually going to take my finger, rub it on the stick, and then just kind of place it on top of the makeup. I just kind of do around the nose too. Love it. It's so good. So next I'm going to go on with a bronzer. I prefer to use year round. My preferred method of bronzing is a powder. So in my makeup bag, like at year round, I have a powder bronzer. I also like to use creams and stuff like that, but my preferred is a powder bronzer. It's just so good. So I have this one from Victoria Beckham Beauty. This is the shade 04. This is a great one. I also have ones from LYS Beauty, which I love. I wear the shade Harmony in that one. I also have ones from Ilia. I mean, there's so many good powder bronzers, and my preferred finish is matte for year round every day. However, I do love something with a shimmer. It just has to be the right look. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this brush here from an Hourglass, and I'm going to dip into the bronzer, and then we are going to just apply. So I use the smaller side of the double-sided brush for bronzer, because sometimes I just feel like the bigger side is a little bit too big. Sometimes I will use this, but for every day, I don't want my face to be like completely overtaken with bronzer. So I do this and I just kind of pat it in. I love this brush. It's so good. And it's so expensive, which is just, it should be illegal. However, it's really good. And this is a great thing to ask for Christmas, I feel like, because you get like it's just like a nice thing that not everyone would buy for themselves or want to pay for themselves. This is a good holiday gift for sure, or birthday gift, or just you woke up this morning gift. But this is a really good brush. I really enjoy it. And this side is also really, really nice. I also have used this for like blush. I've also used this for powder. It's just so good. And the fluffiness is just, I just love it. Ugh, love it. It's so good. This is a really, really nice, finely milled bronzer. And I feel like it's very, if you want an alternative to this, because I know this is expensive and I know some people just like to get their bronzers at the drugstore, the best, like truly one of the best bronzers out there, in my opinion, it doesn't matter conventional or not, is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. And they have so many more shades now, which is nice. And it kind of has that same silkiness feeling that the Victoria Beckham Beauty bronzer has. So if you want something like this, but you don't want this one, or you just don't want to pay this amount, get that one, because you cannot go wrong with that bronzer. It is just ride or die life. So next I'm going to do a little bit of powder just down the center of my face and a little bit under my eyes. And I'm going to use the Ami Collet setting powder just in translucent. It's just so good. And I love this in my makeup bag. I just feel like it never steers me wrong. Jeez, can I open this? Never steers. Did you see that like puff up? Girl, it never steers me wrong. I'm using this brush here from Ami Collet. I really like this brush. This is their, oh, this is just called the powder brush. I really, really like this brush. I have another one like this from Real Techniques that you can also use, and Real Techniques is a little bit easier to find everywhere. Whereas Ami Collet, I don't think all of their brushes are available at Sephora, and yeah, so this is a great brush though. But again, another alternative is the Real Techniques. I think it's called their setting brush. I believe it's called their setting brush, and then it could be, I'll link everything down below. I just dipped in and I don't want that much on the brush, so I'm just going to apply, and we're just going to kind of mattify around the face a little bit, again tapping off, just because as the day goes on for every day, I just feel like it's just easier to be powdered just down the middle because, again, I do have combo skin. In winter, I don't really worry about it as much, but I still do up. I love this setting powder. You just can't go wrong. And I just kind of lightly set. Again, I don't like to over powder, but I do like to have powder. And I know, even me, I don't love setting my face with powder all the time. But if I want my makeup to look good all day and I'm not just running out for a couple hours or whatever, I will always set my face with powder. It is just the best thing to do. So then next we have cheeks. Now we have a bunch of cheek products, so I'm going to just let you know which ones I have here before I apply them. I have the Saie Beauty liquid blushes. I love these. They're so good. And I have 2 shades right now that I'm kind of focusing on using the most. The shade Chili, which is gorge. I feel like this is a really pretty shade, even going into the cooler, like fall, winter. Even though it's a pink, I just feel like it's a specific cool tone pink that just really gives that like, I was just outside. You know what I mean? Birds, cold outside, flushed. You know what I mean? And then this is the shade Rosy, which is my most used. It's gorgeous. Then we have this blush here from the brand Kulfi, and this is the shade Sandalwood Swirls, and it is just the most beautiful. It is the most beautiful blush, and it's super, super long wearing, which is really, really nice. Then I have this blush here from Victoria Beckham Beauty, which I feel like I've talked about 1,000 times on this channel. It's just so, so good. And this is the shade Playground. It always looks good. It always looks good. And it has like a more natural finish, so it doesn't do up too much on the cheeks, so that by the end of the day, you're not feeling like a sweaty mess. It's a really nice formula. And then this one, which I also have a backup of, this is the old packaging. This is the Merit Beauty blush, and this is the shade Beverly Hills, and this is like a peachy pinky tone. It's gorge. And then I have this powder blush from Bare Minerals. This is their Gen Nude Blush Bronzer kind of duo, and this is the shade Kiss of Pink. It's so, so pretty. And what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to go on with the Kulfi blush today. I'm just feeling this color. And what I like to do with this is I like to put a little bit on the back of my hand. Like that was even too much and I barely squeezed it. These blushes will last a long time because the pigmentation is there. And then I like to kind of just spread it out on the back of my hand. Look how pretty that is. It's just gorge. And then I'd like to take a slanted, always for cream blushes, a slanted cream blush I love, and this is the Sephora 93. I'm currently testing out another brush that's also a slanted brush. I don't love it as much as this one, but it's still a really nice option. And Sephora brushes are great to buy during Sephora sales, which I think there's one coming in end of October, November time, because they're 30% off for everybody. So it's not just like specific to what tier you're in, which is nice. And 30% off is great. Look, it's just so pretty. I love it. And I really like to lightly apply blush. I don't like to go in too crazy because sometimes it can get out of hand quickly. So let's move on to highlights. So this is my just ride or die forever favorite highlight. I also really love the Rose Ink one, and this is from Minori, and this is the champagne shade. And I just like to take a little, and I mean, it's just so good. And the reason I love this is because it's so thin, but it has shine, but it's not too much. Like it's not overwhelming me, which I really enjoy. And then what I'm going to also do is I'm going to take a brush like this, just like a flat eyeshadow brush, and I'm just going to do a little highlighting on my nose. Love that. Such a good highlight. Minori highlighter, can't go wrong. Again, this is the shade Champagne. Next, we're moving on to the eyes. So I don't always do like a lid primer, eyeshadow primer. Sometimes I will grab one, but for every day I don't really do that. I just do it if I know I'm like really need an eyeshadow look to last from dusk till dawn, but we're not doing that today because I don't really do that for every day. But sometimes I will also just use my concealer as a primer for my lids. Today we're not going to do that. So what I'm going to do for my lids is I am going to take my bronzer that I used, and I'm going to put it in my crease, and it not like a ton or anything, but we are going to do a touch of crease bronzing. And I'm just going to take a little crease brush, not a big one, and I'm going to go just right in the crease. So the next one I'm going to do is I'm going to just take this little brush here, and I'm going to dip in again to the bronzer, and we're just going to put a little bit of bronzer on the lower lash line. Not too much, but just enough to kind of give depth to the under eye. And I mean, I feel like the difference is just so much, but I feel like not everyone likes to do that, but I swear for the overall look, it really does make a big difference. All right, happy with how that's looking. Next, I'm going on with this eyeshadow palette, which is just my life, eyeshadow quad, whatever you want to call it. This is from Rowan Beauty, and this is their Gold Lust palette. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this shade here in the Gold Lust palette. I believe it's called Bonbon. Yeah, I think it's called Bonbon. And I'm going to just dip in with my finger, and I'm going to sweep that on the lid. I'm not going to pull it all the way back, but I do want to pull it at least halfway. Next, I'm going to take the shade here. I believe it's called Safari. And I'm just going to take a little on my finger. This is such a pretty highlight shade. And I'm just going to focus it right here. Not anything too crazy, just add a touch of highlight there. Now, I don't necessarily do this every single day or every single time I do my makeup. So the next one I'm going to do is I'm going to take this shade here from the palette, and I'm going to just add a little bit to my lower lash line, like right in the middle. And just kind of, it feels like I know it feels like it would do nothing. It does do something, I swear, especially in person. But just in the middle, like right where the color of your eye is and your pupil and all of that, just right there, it just adds a little bit of something, and it adds a little bit of extra sparkle, which who doesn't want to sparkle? Well, you might not, but I want to sparkle. I love anything sparkly. So the next one I'm going to do is I'm going to go on with a matte dark brown eyeshadow. And this is from Jones Road Beauty. And this shade is absolutely to die for. It's so freaking good. And their eyeshadows, their single pot eyeshadows are so good. And what I love about this specific dark brown is, first of all, the dark brown is dark browning in the best way, but also it has like a very, hear my dog's so loud. It has such minimal fallout. It's actually incredible. I don't have to like tap off any product, and I don't have to worry about any fall down, which is incredible. So I'm going to take just a slanted, really, really skinny brush. I believe this is an old Anastasia Beverly Hills brow, like the pot that you would dip into and feather your brows in with that. I believe that this brush is from there, but I can't see, there's no name left. And we're just going to kind of focus on the lash line halfway out. So good, love that. Sometimes it will also take a different eyeshadow and kind of create a more smudgy lash line look, but today I'm not in the mood for that. So the next one I'm going to do is I'm going to take just an eyelash curler, and we're going to curl our lashes before we do mascara and move on to lips. Look at the difference curling your lashes makes. It is just like wild. It is wild to me. It's really, people who are blessed with really curly, just beautiful lashes, I'm so jealous of you. You won the eyelash lottery, because the difference having curled lashes makes is just life's different. Okay, lashes are curled, loving it. Looks so good. Before we add our mascara, I'm actually going to set my face, and I'm going to use the LYS Beauty setting spray. I did a whole video on this. This is such a good setting spray. I also did the, I did swatches, and then I sprayed my hand with setting spray and then let it dry. And this, like, the hold on this is incredible. I actually tested it against Charlotte Tilbury, Urban Decay, and it stood the test of time. It's really, really good. I'm actually really impressed because no brand has really been able to touch Urban Decay specifically, but also Charlotte Tilbury in the hold specifically that has. But Urban Decay is just unmatched in my opinion. It's just so, so good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray my face with the LYS Beauty Setting Spray. I'm just going to do a little. And then I'm going to dry my face really quick with this fan. All right, we are all dry. Love it. I don't know if I mentioned this about that setting spray, so I'm going to mention it again. It dries crazy fast, which is just amazing. You're not sitting there like sopping wet until it dries. Some take so long to dry, which, like, I mean, first world problems, right? Like, not a big deal, but also when it just dry faster because I'm impatient. So next we're moving on to mascara, and we're going on with my Old Faithful, tried and true Jones Road Beauty mascara. I love this mascara. It's just so freaking good. This is a new tube of it. It's just, okay, why is there, my dog's hair is everywhere. Okay, it is real rude. So we're just gonna go on with this mascara. I'm gonna do a little bit. I'm gonna do 2 coats on the top, 1 coat on the bottom, but only like half my lashes on the bottom. That's 1 coat of mascara. Girl, she's good. So first, a shade that I love to use and a product I just always have to have in my bag, the lip oils from Ami Collet. Right now I'm loving the shade Bliss. This beautiful pinky tone is just gorge. But I also have, this one's empty. I have to get another one of these. This is before they changed the name to something. This was before these launched during the holidays. And I don't know the name of this one, but it's like their brownie tone. Love these. I also have the clear. I think I have a backup of this one. I don't need to repurchase it, but these are great. Super hydrating, super shiny. Then I love these from Rowan Beauty. This is a new one for me, and this is specifically the shade. In the shade Charlie is great. The shade Jude is also beautiful. They have so many shades. They are incredible. I love this. It's just such a good, like, Your Lips but better shade for me, and it just always looks great. So then I also have this. This is a lipstick from Freck Beauty, and this is just the most beautiful tone. It's like a pinky brown. It's just gorgeous. And this is the shade Main Character. Yeah, Main Character. So, so good. I love it. And it's meant to be more matte, but to me it's like a soft matte. And it doesn't dry out my lips, which I love. Then this one from Jones Road Beauty, I love this product. This is their lip tint, and this is in the shade Rose or something. Nude Rose. Oh my God, I have the best memory. Sometimes, you know, when you have so many, specific with lip colors, you have so many shades that all have some type of a rose nude, brownie rose color name that you're kind of like, I don't know the actual name of anything. This is a gorgeous shade. I love this. It's so, so good. And these are really nice and hydrating, which is great. And the packaging is nice. Like, the cap really is like snaps on, which I just adore. Then I have the RMS Beauty. This is their lip lights, and this is just in the shade Bear. I believe that's the shade. Yeah, Bear, which is really, really good. And then this one just gives like me, it's like a pH balancing one, and it gives me the most beautiful pink color that isn't too pink and it looks too intense. If you have my complexion, or darker, or even, I mean, lighter, but like you could really struggle with like pH balancing stuff because it tends to be like too pink and intense. This is a great one because it doesn't get too pink or intense. And then we have lip liners, and specifically these from Victoria Beckham Beauty. I just always have one in my bag. I have 2 shades here today. The shade 04, which is definitely my most used and most repurchased. I have a backup of this one, and then the shade 05, which is the most gorgeous brown color. I think I'm gonna go with 04 just because it's my most used one, and I feel like that's what I should be using. And I'm gonna do, I love this shade. It's just so good. This is my most complimented lip color for sure. It's just such a good shade. I feel like I'm looking at the monitor and my thing I have in front of me. it looks a little bit more pink in the monitor than it does in person. It's very much more neutral, like pinky brown tone. I don't know how to explain it. It's so good. And I get compliments on this lip color all the time. And then I think I'm going to go on with a little bit of the Ami Collet in the brownie tone today, actually. And just do a little bit on top. It's just so good. And it does, again, it's looking a little bit more bright and more pink in the monitor than it does in person. It's very much more neutral in person, but it is gorgeous. I love it. This lip combo is just everything. I love that lip liner so much. There's nothing worse than running out of your favorite lip liner or it like being discontinued. That's like my biggest fear. I've had a favorite lip liner be discontinued before, and I can't, my emotions can't handle it. But yeah, that is my full face of my current makeup bag. And I love this makeup look. This is kind of my go-to when in doubt, I always go with like this style makeup look. If I was going for like a more evening out look, I would maybe smoke it out a little bit more. And I would also probably go with a little bit more of a neutral, like less pinky lip, but I love this look. This is truly just everything. And the sheen that you get from the eyeshadow, I'm just obsessed with this look. Let me know what you think of the look down below, what is in your everyday makeup bag. And yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.